Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your lovely ideas from the internet and turn them into the nastiest, grossest, money-making AAA video games that we could come up with. I'm one of your hosts, Blake Rea.
And I'm your other host, AJ Hart.
You know, you'd feel like we'd have this intro nailed down after 73 episodes, but it gets confusing every week, huh?
You know, we here in podcast world, people like repetition. They like having a little bit of consistency with it. But I think something that's underappreciated and undervalued is the mix-up that you can have with it, right? Plenty of people like their podcasts because there's a randomness and a change of pace. Change of pace, not a change of paste.
Speaking of consistency, I would like to give an update on last week's intro. As you know, last week I created a vendetta with a 10-year-old child on Rec Room in Dodgeball. Mm-hmm. I would like to say the problem has been handled, and I am now the best Dodgeball player on Rec Room. Challenge me, fight me. Fight me on that.
Well, wait, did you beat him?
Maybe.
No, you can't maybe this. You started a vendetta against a 10-year-old boy. You can't maybe be better than him.
You know what? I thought about it a lot. I meditated on the whole topic, and I realized that, dodgeball's just a state of mind, man.
Hey,
you
Blake,
know what?
That doesn't mean shit. Because if Olivia, the master of Pokemon, got beat out.
What?
Or was her name
Olivia?
Cynthia? The good lady with the black dress and the Garchomp. If she got her ass absolutely handed to her in a Pokemon battle, and then 2 weeks later, not even 1 week later, was like, so I meditated on it. That Pokemon trainer with his super cool space lion that could shoot lasers and his level 99 Pikachu and his weird little Krogunk. I know that he beat me, but I meditated on it, and I'm still the champion, actually.
Weird question. When you challenge because they're a part of the Elite Four, right? Or they are after the Elite Four.
All right, so Cynthia, I believe, is after the Elite Four because I believe that Cynthia was on the little battle island you could go to after the end of Diamond and Pearl.
That's right.
Am I right on that?
That's
she was like a post-game, post-credits person that you could run into?
I believe so. Honestly, I don't remember much about Pokemon. That's why I'm asking. But I thought like a lot of that stuff happened. Like the game kind of just got done at level 50 for most of them.
Yeah, that's why there was like a post credits stuff where like that's where you met Cynthia on a little island and you fought her and her super cool Garchomp. You're telling me
I have to. You know how much fucking grinding and rare candy you have to get from level 50 to 100 just to challenge one person?
Also, I would
argue
an extra
that 10 hours of gameplay.
Also, I would argue that
dumb.
That's
like, what is the point of that?
Sword and Shield definitely kind of capped out around 50. Other games cap out around 80. Because I remember in Sapphire and Ruby, when you fight the Elite Four in that one, that guy's like a level 80 something Metagross. Wow, I have a lot of dumpster. Hey, Blake, I can't tell you any of my friends' birthdays. The partner Pokemon of the Elite Four member from Omega Sapphire and Ruby has a Metagross as his partner Pokemon because he does steel types.
Empty brain, only thoughts of Pokemon, man.
Blake, I'm not joking. I know this, and I could not tell you your birthday, and it happened, I think, this month. It happened like 2 weeks ago.
What are you talking? It happened a week ago, you fuck. What? Oh, man, that's legitimately upsetting.
The Elite Four member that has the Metagross, he also has the little anchor Pokemon that's like a steel water ghost type.
No, change the subject. You just got my birthday wrong within a week of it happening. You came to hang out with me on my birthday. I would have felt you would have remembered.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
That was a week ago.
Ask me another question about Pokemon. Maybe this will do something for you. Are you impressed? Ask me a Kingdom Hearts question. Impressed. I could answer those also.
I literally know nothing about Kingdom Hearts except for friendship. The character died at one point and became a Heartless. And it was originally Final Fantasy / Disney fan fiction, and then they threw that out the door.
You got it all nail on the head, really.
Well, isn't there like some big betrayals or something? Or like the lead enemy of the game is like the other part of you or something?
No.
I know nothing.
There's
I
a
know
character
nothing
that is a part of you, or was a part of you, and his name's Roxas, and he's super cool. And he looks like another character.
Roxas.
We're not going to get into this. Do you want to give me a video
Does
game
Roxas
idea?
rock?
Roxas does rock. He's such a cool person.
Yeah, I can give you a video game idea.
Let's get on with the show.
All right, this one comes to... Oh, God. And then take a sip of coffee. You know, I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I hate when a video essays start that way or tutorials start that way. It's like, let's jump on in, and then they take a big old of their coffee or something like that. I'm like, fucking put some energy into it.
So you're
God
saying
damn
that
it.
like you would
All
really
right,
hate it if the next we've definitely talked and joked about this before on the podcast, but like you would say that like if we started an episode where we said, hey guys, welcome to Spiritual Successor Podcast.
Wow, your
Today
Ben
we're going to be
Shapiro's
taking
showing.
some of your nasty and very good video games and turning those into the next AAA titles. So let's go ahead.
And then you put a big fat slurp on the end of that. Oh, God.
And get right on into it.
I'm not a fan of this bit. Let's do a video game. This one comes to us on Twitter from Trans Artist of the Day at @trans_artist. One of those idle rhythm games, but instead of cutesy pop group.
Take it one more time. I believe
one
in
of
you.
those idle. This one comes to us from Trans Artist of the Day at @trans_artist.
All right,
One
you're
of
doing
those
great
idle
so
rhythm
far.
games,
You're
but
doing
instead of
so
cutesy-
good so far. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Come on,
AJ,
you can do it.
AJ, I was in the middle of the third one. I was getting stop it. One of those idle rhythm games, but instead of a cutesy pop group, you're in charge of a punk band. You happy now? You happy? I got the submission out after 3 times.
No, I heard you get caught up on it. You have to take it one more time.
No, I'm not. Fine. All right, I will do it one more time. Is this buying time so you can think of a joke for this this punk band? Trans Artist of the Day suggests at @trans_artist, one of those idle rhythm games, but instead of a cutesy pop group, you're in charge of a punk band. Ooh, nailed it. A little bit too fast, but I nailed it.
Good job. I'm so proud of you. We got there. Good job, Blake. You know, I left all of that in so the audience could see a little bit of how the sausage gets made. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we just do a bit and it sucks, so we do it again.
You're letting them into the room where it happens?
Yeah. So a pop idol game, a rhythm game where you get to do cool punk music.
That bit didn't really go anywhere. Okay. So,
wouldn't this be
God, what
Guitar
was I
Hero?
thinking?
This is Guitar Hero, isn't it?
No, Guitar Hero was rock, man. I don't know what you're... I mean, did any of the Guitar Hero games take a punk aesthetic? I don't think they did.
Dude, you go up as like in Kiss makeup.
Well, okay. Really
There's a
quickly,
dude that his whole aesthetic, like
Kiss
poster
Kiss
child
is not
has like
punk
a big
band, though. Kiss is known as like a great rock band. What are you talking about?
Okay, then what about the dude with the big green mohawk that was on all the covers of the game? He's got the big green mohawk and he's got the skull t-shirt and the white skinny jeans with the
Are you
studded
saying
belt.
Mohawks are?
Am I saying that
kinda
mohawks
grunge. I
are for
wouldn't really
punk
say that's
rock
punk.
music? Yes, absolutely. What are you talking about?
I would debate that. I think they're also Mohawks is an element of ska as well and grunge and like a lot of 90s shit.
Okay, I don't know what ska is,
but
but I think that there's trumpets there, and I've never seen a trumpet and a mohawk in the same room.
Ska is just reggae sped up. Think of it that way.
I don't think you can. I don't think I've ever seen ska with mohawks.
Man, did I just pull that out of my ass? Didn't the guy from the Scooby-Doo movie, the band that was Sugar Ray, doesn't Sugar Ray have mohawks?
What?
feel
No,
like they would.
I don't think so.
Yeah, dude, like mohawks might be punk. What am I? Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, anytime I type in ska mohawk and everything's like punk mohawk design. Wow, I guess so. I guess I talked out of my ass. Nothing.
So
new.
punk rhythm
so-
games is Guitar Hero,
Mhm.
right?
Okay, so one of the big, I don't think so, because like a lot of the stuff a lot of the music from the game was like a lot of stadium rock stuff. So I don't necessarily think it's Guitar Hero. I want to pitch something to you. I don't know how we would use it yet, but my brother was in a punk band. No surprises. Was basically their mentality was, and from what he was telling me, is that a lot of punk is you just get up there and try and get your music out as fast as possible and get off the stage. It's like very get in there, say fuck you to the establishment and get out was like his mentality when he was making punk music. So is there a way we can do Guitar Hero, but there is like a speed element to it?
Yes.
So like with rhythm games, you are trying to match the rhythm of what's in front of you. Is there a way that you can be like trying to play the song faster than where it is in the game, and the faster you do it, the more points you get?
Yeah, we're creating.
So
it's a rhythm game, not
game?
in the sense that like. So it's a rhythm game, kind of like Guitar Hero or like the Hatsune Miku rhythm game, where like you have to press the right button, square, X, triangle, circle. But here's where the catch is: you can go faster than the game is built. But if you do, you need to keep your own tempo. So the game normally would be like, AJ, you want to go red, blue, green. And normally the game will be like, red, blue, green, red, blue, green. But me, AJ Hart, I've played this game so many times, I know it's red, blue, green, blue, green, blue. And so long, if I know that, I'm just going to go up and do it, but I have to keep my own tempo. Otherwise, the game's going to knock me points for overextending, trying to get a little bit too rough and nasty on it without properly prepping my game.
So basically, it just it responds to the rhythm that you set. So like, because I'm imagining if it has its own pre-built rhythm, that means you can only get like X amount of points on this round because it can only go so fast. So if it responds to you, it's just limited by your own dexterity, basically.
It's a bit of a memory game, a bit of a dexterity game. I think it goes on golf scores. So like if you have a lot of points by the end of it, you've done bad. But because it's gonna give you points as the timer goes. So the faster you finish the game,
Can I give you a little bit of stank on it? Because I'll be honest with you. I loved the fuck out of Guitar Hero for the DS. I loved that game.
Yeah, with the little like.
I looked like a fool when I played it. Because you're just sitting there like, just really like, you have the DS scrunched up to your chest, and you're just like trying to do it as fast as you can.
And it had the little like add-on buttons that you had to slap onto the bottom of the DS too.
Yeah, it was like it's your favorite thing, dude. Like little like what are they called? Like button. Peripherals, like specialty peripheral like bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah, so like imagine that, but you have to but you're just like trying to do it as fast as you can, and you're looking as goofy as possible.
How do you make it goofier?
So do something like that where how do you make it? I mean, just having to do that fast would probably be pretty goofy, I think.
Shit, Blake, I've got it.
What's up?
What's more punk than a mosh pit?
Okay.
Now, of course, like you and I have gone to punk show or to rock shows where like the mosh pit is like a fun little pit where people kind of like push each other, and you're in a big thing. And
I've seen people lift you up, and I've had people jump off of me. Yeah, it's a good mosh pit.
A good mosh pit is rowdy but relatively safe. There's rules for it.
Yeah.
It's bumping and shoving and roughhousing. And then there's what was the Vans music tour thing? Warped Tour. And then there's Warped Tour mosh pits where people would just go in swinging their arms trying to hurt somebody.
Well, didn't a friend of ours like accidentally get her neck sprained during one of those mosh pits?
Yes.
Like because somebody landed on her?
She was crowd surfing and at a Warped Tour mosh pit got dropped in the pit where people swing their arms like absolute maniacs. But here's what I want to create. It's not a rhythm game where you have to memorize it and tap the screen correctly. It's a rhythm game where it tells you to dance a certain way, a la Just Dance. And you can dance and swing and mosh faster than the game is programmed to.
Oh, sweet. So is this like a thing where you have like the PS4 webcam or like an Xbox Kinect, and you have to just fucking dance and mosh in your living room?
Absolutely. This is it. It is a game that is akin to it's that rush of learning a TikTok dance, but then being like, good, now faster. Now faster. No, faster.
And then there has to be a multiplayer mode that is just fucking chaotic, where you can have like up to 3 or 4 people in your living room moshing together, and
everyone's trying to get through the dance faster than the other ones because that's punk.
Yeah. Oh, dude, fuck yeah, dude. Okay, all right, I could dig that. I could dig that. Do you have a video game
Yeah,
submission?
I got one for you. This comes from Connor Rain on Twitter at Connor Rain. A crossover game where you play as
Mm-hmm.
some mascot character jumping from game world to game world to stop some malevolent force. Each world is based on a pre existing IP with their own game controls. You started off in Max Payne, but now you're in Wii
Oh,
Sports. I love
oh,
these types of
interesting.
games.
Okay.
Like I love like a Comic Jumper or like the Travis Strikes Again did this a little bit. I love when games like give you a
Mm.
character that's like
Beautiful Joe did this
Beautiful
too.
Joe did this to an extent, yeah, like jumping genre to genre. Um,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but I mean Kingdom Hearts does this by jumping from Disney World to Disney World to Disney World. What I
Mm-hmm,
think I
mm-hmm.
want to create is I've already got the running start for it. We're going to create the Capcom mascot. And our Capcom mascot is going to jump from Capcom game to Capcom game to Capcom game.
Okay.
Our little
Okay, when you
friend
say Capcom,
is going to be able to jump around into like Monster Hunter or Street Fighter or Resi or what's another Capcom game?
Mega Man.
Mega Man. Yes. Here's the thing.
Does Capcom still own Mega Man? Right?
Probably. Or did they sell him to Nintendo?
But go ahead. Keep.
The problem is I don't know who this Capcom mascot is.
Oh, okay.
And I think that a lot of the joy of this is going to come from who this character is.
Well, I feel like this could, and speaking of Mega Man, it could be a Mega Man style character because like Mega Man's power is that he can absorb the power of other robots. Would you do the same? Because like if you look at Kingdom Hearts, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like each world gives him access to like a new specialized key sword. Would you do the same thing of like he goes to the Resident Evil world, gets something to add to his toolkit? I don't know what the fuck it would be, but then
No, every
then he
time he
goes
jumps into a
to
new
the world
world,
of
he
X, or the world
loses
of...
everything and it's like a tutorial again. This is going to be a
Oh
game
god.
full
Okay.
of essentially the
Okay.
first bosses. The best kind of reference point I have for this is this manga that I used to read called Tsubasa, wherein these characters
Mhm.
were jumping like reality to reality. And so like there'd be one story arc where the character's like, you're going to be chosen by a spectral wolf. And he's like, okay, sure. And he learns how to get a cool spectral wolf. He fights a bad guy, and then he goes to a new world. And in the new world, people are all like, all right, we're all learning how to use magic swords. Grab a magic sword, main character. And he's like, all right, this is my magic sword.
Oh
He learns,
fuck.
he fights, he gets transported into a new universe. This series was wild. I want a
Okay.
video game that feels like that.
Okay. How do you put some stank on that? So we have we have like our Capcom sort of mascot, which the thing I'm leaning towards is Capcom is like very heavy on like those movie, like a Hollywood action star kind of vibe. So we have what's his face from fucking Mortal Kombat? Nick Cage is not, no, it's not Nick Cage.
No, it's Nick Cage now.
It's Nicolas Cage. He's going from game to game.
So Capcom has Cap Cage.
I didn't mean Nick Cage. They have Cap Cage.
Cap Cage is going to jump
Nicholas,
from world to world to world,
please,
from
Nicholas
game to game to game.
Capcom. Come on.
Cap Cage is going to experience what the first level of a horror game is going to feel like. The rise of the first zombie up to the first like spooky special zombie. Then Cap Cage is like, hey Cap Cage, this world's boned because of zombies. Grab this new magic hat, put it on, and you're going to be transported to the next Capcom verse.
Okay. So what is like the story of this game? So why are they traveling from universe to universe? Is it that they're trying, is it like, oh, could it be something like fuck, what's that Cartoon Network game where like all of the worlds were colliding?
The
It was
MMO.
like an online,
the
yeah,
Cartoon
that
Network
weird MMO that was around for like a little, yeah. And I think this was like happening right when Adventure Time was beginning, or was like this was like peak time for Ben 10, and that shit rocked. Are you doing something where this is a world where all the Capcom worlds are colliding, so that way, like you could literally, maybe it's not that they're transferred to other worlds, because I think we've kind of seen that before. What if this is like the border, this world has collided, and each border, once you cross it, it basically has completely new rules to its reality. So it's the same planet, but when you cross like a state line it becomes like the rules of reality completely change to whatever world you're now
and
entering.
other characters
So it's like
we
do a road
the
trip
villains
game.
from these different things are moving
Mhm.
around in the worlds in ways that they shouldn't be. Like, what if you went into the Resi
Yes,
world and
yes.
like you meet up with Leon and you're like, "Hey Leon, how's it going?" And Leon's like, "Oh my god, Cap Cage, it's so nice to meet you. We need to run because I'm so used to fighting zombies, but now I have this maniac with red
Mhm.
hair and a bead necklace that glows fire, and he keeps on punching people to death, and I don't know how to stop him."
It does feel like pretty resi though, admittedly.
Please
Like it
help
feels
me.
pretty resi
Akuma
sick,
Street
right?
Fighter's here, and I don't know how to beat him up with my gun. Or maybe you go into Street Fighter and Ryu's like, "Cap Cage, help me out. How do I punch a dragon? It's so big.
So
It's
how about
so much
okay, how
dragon."
about the how about this? How about this? Basically, the game begins in like a kind of like the worlds collide and we do the whole border thing where like once you cross kind of those state line like those let's use state lines, I guess.
Well, they're
It
game state
becomes that new
lines.
game and the rules of reality change. What if you do a thing like you take the Mega Man thing where it's like you have access, or even Zelda's a good example. You have access to all of the like areas at the beginning of the game, but you through trial and error you find out they need to be done in a specific order, just like the Mega Man games. So it'd be like, hey, you want to go take on the Resident Evil thing? Well, you turns out you needed to go get the sweet fighting powers from the Street Fighter world before you can go kick some ass
You
in the Resident Evil
cannot
world.
fight
So it's a
Akuma
lot of
unless you
trial
have
and
the
error.
Hadouken. Do not even try.
Yes. Yes. So then it becomes like this road trip game where you have to like you have a sweet fucking you have the Cap van, which is
What
it's like just like some rundown RV that you're just traveling from like world to world in a sweet little road adventure.
What I also love is the idea of like you would get an unlock from let's say that you go into the Street Fighter world and you help Ryu Street Fighter stop Dr. Wily?
Yes, that's his official name. Ooh, that'd be cool. Like there's like weird mix-ups of like all the villains are fucking
Yeah,
with
all
things.
the
So,
villains
like,
are in the
Dr.
wrong
Wily
game.
isn't.
And so you are going in to stop
Mhm.
the villains that are in the wrong games and try to get them back into their world, but it would work best to stop them if you've already gone to their correct world, right? It is You can try to shoot Akuma
Yeah.
enough that he'll leave you alone, but if you hit him with a Hadouken, Akuma's gonna be like, "Ah, dang, that hurts a lot."
What are you picturing this is like what genre? Because I'm picturing actually it
It
changes.
changes
That's right,
genre
'cause,
every
like one
time.
game
You're
it'll
going
be a
to
side
jump into the
scroller.
Street Fighter game, and
Yeah.
you're going to be playing a side scroller, like a 2
Turns
2v
out you're
fighter.
turns out you're in a fucking tournament. It turns out you're in a tournament now when you enter the Street Fighter world, and guess what? You got to fight various like mini bosses. Like each fight is mini bosses from various other games. So like, turns out the first person you're taking on in the tournament is going to be Gemini Man from the Mega Man games, or it's going to be the
Yes,
the
yes.
T-Virus like Noodle Boy
No,
is the
I
next
love this
person
idea
you're
that
gonna
when
have
you
to
go
fight.
into the
Like in
Street
Resident
Fighter
Evil 5.
world, like the gameplay loop of the Street Fighter world would be like the survival mode in a normal fighting game. Like you have to go in, you have to learn how to play this fighting game, and then you have to beat all of
You have to
like a couple Street Fighter characters, a bunch of the villains from Mega Man, and then punch out Dr. Wily. And then you can move on to like the next world, and they're going to be like, "All right, cool. Welcome to
yes.
Monster Hunter. Here's some low-level gear." And you're going to be building up the gear that you need, probably like 4 or 5
Oh
tiers of
fuck.
hunts, because you're going to take on
You know,
Mr. X in Monster Hunter.
you know what'd be kind of a cool you know what'd be kind of a cool through line is like there's a zombie virus in the Resident Evil world. What's not to say that that virus is now infected every other aspect of the world? Because maybe that could be like the through line of this game is what
You
what
want to
I'm trying
figure
to
out
think
who
is
the
what would
supreme
happen
evil
to
of the Capcom verse is?
that and just also just I think there's some really fun ideas of like, hey, what would happen to all the monsters in the Monster Hunter universe if they were infected by a zombie virus? How would they mutate? How would
Yeah,
the
so
hunts change?
we'll put
Or what would happen
Wesker
to all
or
the
Mr. X in the Monster Hunter world, and so like you can experience
Hey, real
that
quick,
for
what's
a
the
little bit.
T-Rex looking? What's the T-Rex looking monster from Monster Hunter?
Anjanath?
Anjanath? Is that it?
Yes.
Anjanath? All right. Wesker riding Anjanath.
S. Wesker
Just
on
how fucking
an
rad would
engine.
that be?
Yeah. What are some other Capcom IPs? Devil May Cry.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there's Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter,
Hold on, wait.
Okami,
Isn't
Dragon's Dogma.
Phoenix Wright a Capcom game?
Phoenix Wright is a Capcom
So-
game. And you also have the JoJo's games from the 90s.
So
oh my god.
Maybe Virgil, maybe
Also Dead
Virgil
Rising,
Devil
dude.
May Cry has gone into the Phoenix Wright world, and you have to figure out how to prosecute a demon in court.
You know what's so weird? Dude, you know what's so weird though? He has like hardcore what's the other guy that you have to go up? Like Phoenix Wright's arch nemesis, Farnsworth, right? No, it's not Farnsworth. That's Futurama.
You're talking about
Fuck, what's his
I don't
name?
know.
But he looks like him.
What about him?
God. Hold on. It's the Pompey looking dude.
Yeah,
like,
with
that
the
has,
silly
like, the
sleeves. I know
red
exactly who you're talking about with the red jacket and the bangs.
What's his fucking name? I can't remember his name. Characters. God, I bet you there are so many people
Miles
listening
Edgeworth.
at home right now where they're
Nope,
like,
not
it's
Miles Edgeworth.
Miles Edgeworth.
Is it?
No, it is Miles Edgeworth. Yes, it's Miles
His
Edgeworth.
first name is
And
Miles?
I bet you there's a bunch of people at home. Do you think this is like the high people get from this show where they like, you fucking idiot, it's Miles Edgeworth. I can't believe you just like, you're such a fucking goober. Why are you hosting this?
Yes, that is why people listen to this.
Because I have been approached on more than one occasion for that exact reason. Like, hey, this I love listening to the podcast because you guys get shit wrong all the time.
Why? Okay, you were so adamant to talk about Miles Edgeworth. Why the fuck is he important? He's going to be murdered by Virgil if we do not stop Virgil and prosecute him for petty crime before his murder trial.
Well, here's the thing.
Or before his murder.
Here's the thing about Virgil. He actually killed Miles Edgeworth and is assuming the role of Miles Edgeworth now. So it's Virgil in Miles Edgeworth's clothing and just assuming the identity of Miles Edgeworth. So that's like that's the case.
But you can tell it's him because his hair's all white now. The case is like, hey, Miles Edgeworth is really weird right now. And you have to find out why.
It's a stolen identity case. Yeah.
Yes,
You have to like
yes.
you approach the world of Phoenix Wright's like, hey, my totally not boyfriend Miles Edgeworth is like acting really, really weird. Can you like help me investigate what the hell happened to them?
Okay, let's put a pin in this. Can you give me another video game?
Okay. I do have another video game for you. All right, this one comes to us on Twitter from Boo Bowser's Stan account at Koopa Kirby. A game with a morality system, but instead of good and evil, you are Scatman and Batman. So, my first thing, just like the first image that came to my mind is like Batman, but instead of like fighting crime through martial arts and stuff, he's just doing scat renditions in front of people. So I just don't know the idea of like, you remember Batman the animated series? Like, imagine a clip from that, but he's doing like the like a scat like bit. So is there a way we can do Batman as a sort of rhythm game, music game, or a music game of some kind? Because I don't think they've done that yet. Because we've had Batman like adventure games and Batman like beat 'em up games, but have we ever seen Batman go up against all of the villains of Arkham as a musical thing? Because like I think you could do it in the same I don't know if you saw it, but there was that clip going around on Facebook of like Bat Metal, where it's just like all of like the
I remember Bat Metal.
People.
Facebook could not stop showing me Bat Metal.
Yeah, it found its way around, right? And then what if you did something in the realm of that where it's a battle of the bands, but it's scat? Also, I hate the word scat. Like I know it. They don't mean like
they don't mean Dookie, but it is like Dookie
thing.
Man, isn't
They
it?
don't.
So what you want to create is a rhythm game that somehow has like a mechanic inside of it that travels between Batman and Scatman, like a rhythm game with some sort of morality system. Because let me tell you what I was imagining based on this. Mm-hmm. I was imagining a character that wants to be like Batman, but is running the risk of being Joker-fied. And I imagine, what if Red Hood had the hood on all the time? Because, like, you know, when Red Hood gets heated, he can either, 1, act like Batman, or 2, he can start to act like Scatman, where he acts like the
So-
Joker and skeetle doo doo boo bow bo bow scooby doo bee bop bop, and then he like starts shooting a gun everywhere, and it's like, Red Hood, you can't do that. Red Hood, you can't just scat and shoot a gun, being like
he scats to the beat of his guns, dude.
Exactly. Red Hood's going crazy. He's been Jokerfied. But his Jokerfication looks like Scatman.
Interesting.
The evil Batman version that just scats while he shoots people with a gun.
Minor Batman Arkham Knight spoilers here. Does this take place before or after Arkham Knight?
Oh.
Is this like how he got to
No,
where
this
he
isn't
was
in the,
in
this
Arkham
is not
Knight?
in the Arkham verse. I think that this is in the Adam West verse.
I don't think Red Hood was ever relevant in the Adam West Batman.
Not now. We're moving on in the Adam West timeline.
You know, I could totally see them finding themselves into like a scat like club and just doing some Adam West.
The Robin Hood from the Adam West movies got murdered by the funny Jack Nicholson
really quickly,
Joker.
Who from Batman Adam West?
Robin. You know Robin, the kid that has to die in order for Red Hood to exist.
I was hoping you'd say Robin Hood again, because you kept saying Robin Hood from Batman Adam West.
God damn it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you kept saying it. I'm like, what are you no.
Well, that's what he'll become. I'm using that as shorthand so you know exactly which Robin I'm talking about.
No, that's his alter ego. He's like, I can't be Robin while I'm going to scat. Like
while I'm possibly being Jokerfied, I'm now going to go call myself Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Adam Westverse has no Red Hood. Adam Westverse has Robin Hood, who's dangerously close to becoming Batman or Scatman. And what I love about this, here's the thing: I want to give our Robin Hood, the Red Hood of this universe, the dark, grim morality of the Arkham Knight games. So you have like Adam West being like, "Great Scott, Robin Hood, you can't just shoot people with a gun." And he's like, "You never understood me, Batman. You'll never understand the weight of taking a life."
There are just some people in the world that you just can't beat up and hope that they won't come back. You gotta end them. You got it. That's how this grim world works. And then it just like smash cuts to some
Robin.
Them
you can't do this.
Like,
you're the boy wonder. I'm not your boy wonder, old man. And then he starts shooting. Like, everybody else is written like they're from those movies except for our Robin.
Okay, what if we take the route of him not shooting people, but he's like, hey, we can't, he tries solving all of his problems with gritty scat renditions. So it's like not so much about him using violence, but he's like, Batman, your ways are old. You got to get with the times. It's the new age. We got to solve all our problems with scat music and the power of music.
So you're implying,
and he just takes it as seriously as taking a life is what I'm getting at.
So him being Jokerfied is not him doing acts of violence. His Jokerfication is, hello, fellow teens?
Hello, fellow teens? Why are you're obviously a teenager. Why are you saying hello, fellow teens?
Well, I just want to make sure that that's what you're implying. Like our Robin Hood in the Adam West verse going into his Scatman side is him just slam poetry, rhyme scheming at people to stop crime rather than hitting them with a thwack sound effect? What's the spectrum? What's the verbiage? What, you know what I mean? What makes Robin Hood different when he acts like Batman versus when he acts like the Scatman?
That's fair. I think it could be
That's why I think it has to be nice versus gun. And scatting. He scats while he guns.
But that's not scat. Then that's where it gets okay. So
clickety bang bang a dang dang tiggy diggy doom boogie up shop the boogie, and he shoots a gun. Oh. God. Sorry, I don't remember the fucking Kid Rock scat intro.
I don't know if that's scat though. I don't. You know, here's the thing.
No, the intro to that song from Kid Rock does count as scatting. That's non-negotiable. That's scatting.
What is okay? No, scat is
All
like
on the floor, bang a dang diggy diggy shigga digga bigga up shomp the funky. That's scatting, dude.
I think scat is exclusive to jazz, my friend. Scat, also called scat singing in music jazz, vocal style using emotive, onomat, ooh, that's a big word for me,
Onomatopoeia.
and nonsense syllables instead of words in solo improvisations on a melody.
It doesn't have to be in jazz.
You might. I don't know. I don't know about
Kid Rock
that. I don't know
scats
if
in that track.
I don't know.
That's not. I
All
you
right.
don't. I know it's hard for you to face the scat man.
All right,
Kid Rock.
Batman, you don't understand me and my new mentor. His name's Kid Rock, and he scats, and I want to be like him. I want to solve crimes like Kid Rock.
My friend, is how you know that is in fact the evil side, because Kid Rock is there over his shoulder.
It's like there was that one. There like a thing recently in the Batman comics, like the owl, where like Robin is like taken in by the court of owls and is like he's not like Red Hood Robin, but like his weird like little clone son, Damian Wayne, was brought in by like an assassination group called the Owls. Isn't it? So it could be something similar to that, where it's just Robin Hood is brought into this court of scat musicians to do basically to solve crime in their own way. You could do that.
No, I like the Jokerification.
So
I think it's a little bit more lenient in the world. Yeah.
Okay. But then, what the heck's the point of? Is Joker assuming the identity of Kid Rock to help convince Robin Hood to do bad?
I think that maybe the Kid Rock inclusion is a little bit more subtle. You know, that's going to be in the production of it. That's going to be the music that Robin Hood listens to.
He just has posters all over his.
He's got Kid Rock posters in his room.
All over the Batcave.
Yeah, if you do too many Scatman choices, you start to get Kid Rock memorabilia and items in the walls and stuff. I'm going to put a pin in this one. Do you want to go to the next game?
Yeah, you got a game for me?
Yeah, I think I got one kicking around here somewhere. This comes from George L. Diaz on Twitter at ReadySetFire123. A vampire game where you must convince everyone you are actually a vampire.
Okay, so what does the gameplay loop look like? Is it going to be something...
I'm imagining something. For a second. No worries. I'm imagining something isometric, and what I want to do is create something akin to, but same but opposite of Among Us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create a game where you are put into a room with 6 of your friends. One of you is an actual vampire. Everyone else is trying to make everybody else think that they're the actual vampire.
Okay, how would you do that? Because like in like Among Us, there's very clear indicators that you're given powers as a imposter that you could just use. Does everybody have access to the same powers? Like, I feel like that's the only way it would be doable. I mean, like, I don't know if Among Us is a good example, because it's just like, if you have the abilities, you can just show them right away and people would believe you. And what's the fun in that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do we create a sandbox wherein you can prove to your friends that you have magic powers? Perhaps you're in a 3D house akin to like a VR chat or a Phasmophobia. And maybe you can like rig things up. And let's say that maybe the vampire has like a skill where like they have a telekinesis that they can use. But other people in the house can use like fishing line to throw things around. And you have to prove to your friends that you're actually doing it with real magic and not fake magic. But how do you do that in a 3D world?
I'm trying to figure out the gameplay of this, because when you're trying to prove something to other people, in like Among Us, let's use an example, like the motivation is like, we want to find out who the killer is so nobody else dies, or we can avenge the people that were killed. In this, what is there to gain by proving you are a vampire? Like, I don't get that. I don't know. It's just, it feels like there's no motivation to play something like that. You know what I mean?
then perhaps the motivation is from the other players to prove that they, in fact, are the vampire when they're not. Boy. This reminds me of this card game that I've played called Banana Not Banana.
What? Tell me about it.
So the way Not Banana works is there's this deck of cards. I believe I have the name right. Let me just go ahead and double check Banana Not Banana. Banana Not Banana. Oh, it's Win Lose Banana. I'm thinking of the game Win Lose Banana.
Okay. Tell me about it.
So the way Win Lose Banana works is, if I remember correctly, there's 3 cards. They're all shuffled up, and you and 3 friends get it. And one says win, one says lose, one says banana. And you're trying to convince other people that you, in fact, have the card that you are claiming you have. It's a game where you just lie to your friends right in front of each other.
Are you trying? Because what it sounds like, it's like any game like that is you're trying to avoid being caught. So like I'm assuming it would be like if you have the banana card, you got to lie to everybody's faces that you do not have the banana card. So you're voted out last. It's like this. It's the same premise as Among Us. So, but like there's the whole point is in this vampire game, you're not lying. You're trying to convince.
But everyone wants to convince you that I'm the vampire. You and I both get the card. You Blake, you have the card that says definitely a vampire for sure. I get the card that says I'm not a vampire. And I have to sit there in a room with other people and say, don't trust Blake. He's a known liar and shitbag and we all hate his guts. I'm the vampire.
AJ. All right, let me just throw something at you to add a little bit more sauce to this. This is a cult of vampires. This is the backdrop for the game. This is the cult of vampires that found out that they have a human in their midst. So you have to go around the table as a card game. It's like it's Imposter from from Gary's Mod, or like the Trouble in Terrorist Town, that kind of vibe, where there's a group of people and there's one person that's impostering them that's trying to keep up the allure that they are a vampire to fit in or stay there. So everybody is trying to prove how much of a vampire they are. So you have to prove that by I guess in some games they like everybody I'm trying to think of a game of like Jackbox Imposter.
What if it's Imposter?
Like that game where everybody's like,
it's like Among Us. Everybody has the kill button except for one person.
Oh God. And then
the goal is to make all the vampires kill each other because one person is incapable of doing a murder.
Oh,
we take
so you're
all
just
the agency away from the single person. They feel nothing but dread. But trust me, guys, I'm so definitely a vampire. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, if you're a vampire, kill Kevin. And it's like, well, I'm not going to kill Kevin. I don't think he's the human.
Oh, there you go. So it's like you... But what's stopping people from killing other... I guess the idea of like, oh, you killed one of our own, so we're gonna... Well, but then again, like if you kill somebody, what's the ramifications of it?
Nothing. I think everybody just has to look at the group and be like, well, yeah, we definitely killed them, huh? And I guess they weren't the one. I guess we'll move on.
Well, but no. But you have to think about like what is if everybody has access to kill somebody and there's no ramifications from it, why would anybody argue? Be like, I don't want to kill them, you know? Because like the moment you say I don't want to kill this person, they're like, oh, that's automatic. That means that person is like against us. That's the human, because they're saying they don't want to kill anybody because of X, because they don't want to be caught.
I mean, I guess we just add this. So like, add that similar like gauge system that Among Us has.
Oh, it'd be interesting. What if you do a thing of like everybody has a kill button except for the human. And if it gets down to like if there's only one vampire and one human, the human wins. So what you do is if you kill a vampire, that means not just one vampire dies, 2 vampires die. So like if you press the kill button,
and you're wrong, then both people die. Like the vampires kill each other.
Yes. So basically,
I have to I have to be certain that you, Blake Rea, are a vampire before I hit the kill button on you. Because if you are, I have to be certain that you're the human. Because if you are the vampire, then you and I are both out of the game. And then we have to go into the losers voice chat, and I have to sit there in a room with you, and I have to be like, look, I know that neither one of us get to have fun now, but I really thought you were the human. And we're going to create the immediate guilt of both of us being dead.
So
because then you get to be like,
that way,
AJ, you dumb idiot, I can't believe you did this. And I have to be like,
yes,
oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I kill him?
yes, and that then takes the idea of that adds stakes to being like, you can't just kill people willy-nilly because there is a consequence. It's like when you fuck up, you are now two people down, and they are two people closer to winning this game. So it is convincing people you are a vampire. See, the weird thing is like, what other things could you add? With like, because in Among Us, you can be doing the cables, you can be doing things that in like the innocents would be doing. So is there an element we can add to this? Like, is there like activities or mini games that you can play, or is it just a communication game?
I would argue, okay, so one thing that I think we don't see enough of is, because it hasn't been done yet, is can we grab a survivalist element similar to that of, what's that game where you play as the little dudes and you have to run around and get food, otherwise you die when the seasons come around?
Oh, Don't Starve?
Don't Starve. You're in like a little
Mhm.
simulation where you're constantly having to get food, you're having to get shelter, like an actual like survival game. But there is also this timer of like, hey, you could run out of food at any moment, and also you're all vampires except for one of you. Find out who that is.
Oh, so it'd be kind of cool.
So
As you're
everybody has to
playing
work
it,
together
and
to
then
stay alive. But if you stay alive
Mhm.
to the end of the cycle, either by like not starving to death, or like the human survives the whole like 1 week timer that we've
Mm.
built, then like the vampire
Mhm.
hunters come in, they kill all the vampires or something like that. So you do need to find out who the human is, but also everybody has like an actual
You could.
responsibility to keep
What if?
everybody alive.
What if you do some sort of like, you remember Survivor, the game show? It
Hmm.
would be like they would do an activity, and then you would get to the night where you can vote somebody off. So it'll be like this: is the group does something as a group, like an activity during the group. I'm sorry, they do something, an activity during the night, um that they have to participate in as a group, and that's where you can start getting like suspect on certain people, like, hey, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that, are you trying to sabotage this our group? And then when like morning comes, you vote who you're gonna kill, basically. So it's like they're like, let's say it's like what's it called, that date night thing from Jackbox. There's like, you do a little bit of activity, a little bit of texting, a little bit of whatever, and then you get to the voting block, and then it just, the cycle repeats itself over 5 or so nights, right?
Yeah.
So what if you do something like that? So that you have a game of like 5 people, and you're trying to see, you need to suss out who the human is before the end of this week, or
Yeah.
something like that.
What I also really like about this idea though is, again, I want to double down on the anxiety of being the only one without the agency to do anything. You know what I mean? Like the one
Uh-huh.
that's chosen, like it's not like you're the imposter, go get them. It's your baby human. Lie.
Mm-hmm.
Lie to live, bud. Lie to
Is
live.
there is there a reason this human is here? Are they trying to become a vampire? Like, maybe that could be something you can lean into, is like, well, no, think about that. Think about that as like, hey, your goal this game as a human is to try and be turned into a vampire. So you're gonna have to admit that you are a human to somebody. So then there's that level of like, are they going to fucking outright out you in front of people? Or are you going to be turned into a vampire? And if you get turned into a vampire, you win the game,
But you also win
or
if nobody
something.
outs you.
Like, you also win if nobody outs you. So like, it maybe there. I
I don't
guess
think that
adding that
works.
kind of
Yeah,
element
I
needs.
think the goal is to
Yeah,
survive.
yeah.
Blake,
Hey, yeah. What's up?
it's nug time.
Oh shit! All right, what do you think our nug's gonna be?
What is our nug going to be? Why don't we go ahead and run down a couple ones of our standouts this week? We had Cap
Okay.
Cage, a hero traveling through Capcom games to try to put the villains in their correct gamings again. Essentially,
Mm-hmm.
a video game built off of the first tutorial levels.
Mm-hmm.
A little sampler palette of all these video games. We had
Yes, and then we have our Vampire Among Us werewolf style game.
Vampires Among Us, werewolf style game.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
had What the fuck else did we have?
Honestly, I'm blanking for some
We had a
reason. I think I'm
rhythm.
blanking.
We had a rhythm game where you play
Oh,
as
that's
a
right.
punk
We had our
band.
punk Rotham.
But we ended up hooking
Mhm.
that up to the Kinect and trying to give a place for tweens to just absolutely swing their arms around and injure each other.
I kind of am like leaning towards that game because like you can mosh, but then again, that's just kind of it. I don't necessarily think there's much we can build up with that game, huh? So maybe Capcom, like we call them just steal from Nintendo, call it Cappy. That's our mascot for Capcom.
How do we feel about the name Capcom?
Capcom?
And they're at like a convention.
What are you conning them out of?
No. It's a convention. So
Oh.
like the central thing, maybe it's
That's it. Basically,
it's like there's a
you're
hub
not going
world.
up against Dr. Wily. You're
No.
going up against cosplays of Dr. Wily.
No,
or
I think you're
cosplays
going into the real
of,
worlds, but I think that like the hub world, as you jump into different worlds, is you going to different zones in a convention. You go into the Mega Man convention wing, and it's like, all right, hop in the booth. You're going to Capcom Mega Man Land.
See, that does take away the idea we talked about of like road tripping, and then this is a world where all of it is like combined. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So then, that's a good point. Maybe that's out. Do we want to try to develop our character, our Capcom character, our Capcom mascot, our singular human?
I feel, yeah. Okay, I
think this is the
yes, we should do that.
Is it just Nick Cage in a hat?
It's buff Nicolas Cage, like back when he was almost casted to be Superman, like that buff Nicolas Cage. Oh, actually, you know who would be really fun because I want to see them come back. He has no ties to video gaming, but remember Brendan Fraser from the Mummy movies and from what's that one, Journey to the Center of the Earth? Remember how cool that guy was?
Yeah, I do. So what you're proposing is that the Capcom mascot, the face of the brand moving forward, will be Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser.
But with a hat?
You're really fixated on the cap, huh?
I think it's something, dog. We got to have some sort of iconography. It's important for branding. This will be the brand that connects all these video games together. If you're wondering if Capcom currently has a mascot, their alleged mascot, or at least the character that they want to be their mascot, is Ryu Street Fighter.
I am seeing something very different. I am seeing that it's Mega Man has superseded Captain Commando. Who the fuck is Captain Commando?
Holy fuck! Captain Commando!
Yeah, like apparently
we're bringing Captain Commando back.
Fuck, I remember this guy.
Captain Commando is our astral warrior.
This guy.
He's traveling world to world, universe to universe, intercepting these worlds. He's getting fun costume changes with every single one. He's entering them. He's figuring out what's wrong. He's putting the bad guys back in their places. It's a Captain Commando game, baby. He's back.
Captain Commando's back? Holy fuck. Man, I have forgotten about this guy. This guy had a sweet gang of people. He has a baby with a mech. He has like a ninja friend with like a star on his chest. And then he has like
the mummy guy?
A very tall mummy guy. I don't know who the heck that is, but he's cool.
I forgot about the baby in a mech.
Captain Commando. All right.
Yes, it's a Captain Commando game.
Have you mentioned Captain Commando on the show before? Potentially, right? I feel like we would have brought him up. Okay. Circling back. So we're gonna do Captain Commando because he has sweet fucking gauntlets. Like, holy crap! Are his arms just robot, or are those sweet just like?
Yes.
God, he looks like a freaking a JoJo's character a little bit, just like the big boy build. Okay, and he can also go up against JoJo's characters because there are JoJo games in the Capcom universe.
Yeah, he could. Who would be in the JoJo's world? I mean, here JoJo's won't work because JoJo's like you can't put any character in a JoJo's world and have them feel out of place. Sorry, that one's getting cut.
Are you shitting me? Captain Commando looks like he would be straight from the JoJo's universe.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
He literally has
the conceit of our game. Blake. The conceit of our game is that there are villains hopping into IPs where they should not be, and so Captain Commando is going in to correct that. If
I don't know
if
who the
Mr.
fuck.
X jumped into the JoJo's video game, people would be like, "Oh, that's a weird JoJo's character." So I don't think that we can have JoJo's.
Hold on. You're telling me the visual of Captain Commando and Dio from JoJo's doing like their punchy barrage things at each other is not the coolest fucking thing in the world? If Dio was given access to be a god, like he has been in like that one JoJo's Eyes of Heaven, if he was given that access to command over all of the Capcom universe, are you telling me he would not take it? And then guess what, AJ? Now we have this sweet fucking element of all of our evil people from the Capcom from whatever. Dr. Wily's a vampire now. Fucking who's the bad guy from Phoenix, the bad guy from the first Phoenix Wright game? He's back and he's a fucking vampire now with a stand. It adds so many elements to it that we can really play with. I kind of feel like
you really want to put JoJo's front and center in this, huh?
I feel like Dio would be a really good villain because I feel Dio is one of the coolest villains I've seen in media, primarily because he always finds a way to come back, and not only like his actions have rippled throughout the entire like series of JoJo. Like there's seasons where he's not there at all, but like he's like, hey, this is an underling.
Hey Blake, I'm so happy about you wanting to have JoJo's as our main villain for this video game. I want you to look up the character Scummocide, who's the actual villain from the Captain Commando video games, and I believe that this is the character who is guilty of putting all of our villains in the wrong video games. Sorry, I know you're really interested in JoJo's destroying our Capcom verse. I'm giving Captain Commando a video game.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If we're doing Captain Commando, why stick to the normal villains? If we want to sell a game that is all about, like, universes colliding, why just use the standard people from the Captain Commando universe as, like, the main villain? It should be a villain from another game to really sell home that idea that, like, this universe is imploding on itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I just don't want it to be Dio Brando JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I just feel like he doesn't belong here.
Scummocide looks like a JoJo's character. I'm not gonna lie.
That just means he looks buff, is what you're saying.
Muscles.
You're like, oh, him big, just like JoJo's. And that's not a thing we can just be like,
I typed in Scummocide into Google, and there is deep comic book lines. The shadows are very pronounced. The proportions are weird as fuck. There's cabling. There's weird armor. This is very JoJo style-esque. And, like, pull up Star Platinum and compare him to Sumocide. You'd be like, oh yeah, I could see those guys in the same series.
Okay, look, I'm going to give this to you. Here's the thing. We have a mission statement. Cool games that should not be made. The idea of us creating a Captain Commando video game. Captain Commando is jumping around world to world. We're seeing Virgil and Phoenix Wright. All the more reason
Dio should be in our game.
I'm going to get there. Hold on. Virgil being in Phoenix Wright. Mr. X or Professor X, whatever that villain is, being in Street Fighter, Akuma being in Resident Evil, that all rules so hard and is very cool. The idea that the final plot twist is that Dio Brando from the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga is the actual villain is so stupid and makes me so vitriolic, so actually angry and mad because we've created a baby here that I'm like, oh, this baby rules. And then this fucking nasty nugget is coming in from space. Like, why? Sure, I guess it makes me mad. We have a mission statement. Cool games that should not be made. Dio's our main villain in our super dope-ass Capcom Kingdom Hearts game. We're slapping it on the box. That's a game. Okay. I'm miffed. What are we naming it?
Here, I have an idea for you. I'll meet you in the middle, but
it better not backpedal from this because this idea is so bad. I have to sign off.
I'm gonna fucking make it better, and I'm gonna make it more of just weirdly like, oh, that was unexpected. So the whole idea of Dio is that he stole fucking Jonathan's body. What if this is after the events of Dio being killed in the games, and now he's like some ethereal spirit. What if he has taken over Scummocide's body? That's like the big reveal at the end. That's the fucking reveal.
Scummocide.
Yeah, so there's the reveal, like, our Captain Commando is, like, thinking, man, I'm going up against Scumocide, but there's something different about him. He has a different air. Guess what? Scumocide now has the world as his stand, and is also a fucking vampire. Are you telling me that reveal is not the dumbest thing you've ever heard of? That's their game. That's our mission statement, AJ. We're here to fucking tell bad stories.
This
and
makes
I think
me
that's
so
a bad
mad.
story.
What are we calling this game? I suggest the name Captain Commando
Worlds Collide.
Back in Place.
Back in place? What?
Or like what if we do it's a Captain Commando game, but then it needs a subtitle, right? Because we're doing Captain Commando something.
Yes.
And I think that subtitle should kind of hint at putting things back in order, putting our villains back where they're supposed to be. Or is it maybe a subheading that feels more implicative of the fact of like we're going in tutorial after tutorial after tutorial? Is it Captain Commando getting started? Or is it Captain Commando, the new frontier again? Well,
you could you could do Captain Commando Worlds Collide. Captain Commando back for some reason Back in Time is in there, but there's no time elements.
Does Captain Commando by
or
chance
you could
have
just
a
do a title.
catchphrase?
You could do a thing that alludes to that Dio is the final villain. So you could do like Captain Commando, the Bizarre Adventure, Captain Commando's Bizarre Adventure, or Captain Commando's road trip. But no, I see what you're saying. Back in Place is cool, and using the word back is like a really like provocative word because you have.
I have incredible news. Captain Commando was apparently first game debut was Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes. So what if we just one of the fighting terms
Clash
in those
of
games
Worlds.
is hyper combos. So what if it's Captain Commando hyper combo?
Ooh, that's cool, but that just basically means that it's only a fighting game.
No. I mean, it will start as a fighting game, but there will also be all of the other games that we're going into. I can't help that this is Captain Commando's origin story, but Captain Commando Hypercom though, it's kind of dope.
This is far Hypercom. All right, yeah, sure, let's fucking do it. I bet. You know what I'm gonna do for the art? I'm just gonna have Scumocide. God, what a dumb name, Scumocide. But like, he'll have a shadow behind him that's just fucking Dio looking over his shoulder with like the pink star on his back.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you so much for finding a way to backpedal this away from a game that should be made and make it stinky again. We got dangerously close to a real game, and I'll be honest.
I did not make a game. Wait, hold on. I did not backpedal. I would argue that I made it even shittier. Just like, and it's not going to be alluded to at all in the game. It'll just be like, man, like Scumocide turns over his shoulder. Like your first time meeting Scumocide when you're about to fight him, it's like you do not meet him at all through the game. You just hear about him. He looks over his shoulder, is like, my name isn't Scumocide, it's Dio Brando, and he does the fucking sweet JoJo's pose where you see his back shoulder and it shows like the sweet
we can
purple
play
star,
with that,
and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Captain
What is
Commando has
happening?
a
Is
star on
anybody gonna
his
explain this
chest.
to me?
We'll hint that Scumocide has a star on his back, and like the people that don't know, the people that obviously have no fucking idea that Capcom published a JoJo's fighting game in the goddamn 80s, no one's going to know. People will be like,
the 90s.
People see the star iconography on Captain Commando and on Scumocide and be like, ah, that's interesting that they're going with like this cool astral star iconography. You know, they're two sides of the same coin. That's really interesting. And then plot twist, it's Dio Brando.
Yeah, it's like
it works. I'm mad because it does work.
It was part 3. It's part 3, dude.
That's a game. That's credits. I think we're good to go to patch notes. I can't do this anymore, Blake.
I'm happy we came to a good game. A shitty game. Okay. Before we go though, are there any boss fights we want to add to this?
We should add a boss fight from our Patreon Discord, shouldn't we?
Oh yes, we should.
If you would like to submit your own boss fight, you can go ahead and hit us up on Patreon. You'll get added to our Patreon Discord, and in there we have a channel for boss fights that you can submit your horrible ideas for.
Okay. I have a submission from Joe saying they showed a scene. Remember that I was gonna say anime. It's not really an anime, but an animated show. Mega's XLR.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Of course
series?
I do. That was the car mecha.
Okay, so yeah, it was basically. So for those that don't know, it's just a fucking mecha, but instead of like a Gundam head, it's just a hot rod car. So I'm thinking that could be one of the people you'd fight in like the Street Fighter tournament. It's just like you as just small wee little Captain Commando going up and fighting a giant mech. So just like the comedy there for me is just the scale of the scene.
Now, what video game do you think that Captain Commando would be in when he fought a giant mech?
Are there any? I don't know.
All right, we can figure that out. We'll have our R&D team work on that.
Well, I'm thinking it would be just the idea of going to the Street Fighter universe, and the tournament that you find yourself in is not like Street Fighter characters. It's Mega's XLR did have their own video game, by the way. I don't believe it was Capcom, but it'll be a fun little appearance. Because just the idea of fist fighting a giant mech with a hot rod face.
Yeah, maybe he's a. You know what we could do? We could have a secret boss in each one of these games, right? So like we know that the Street Fighter world, because it's like a fighting game tournament, we're gonna have a lot of the Mega Man villains in there because like that's just a really nice way to play a game where we burn through a lot of villains. Serves as an excellent intro point as Captain Commando. Our main character takes on the villains of Mega Man, one of the most popular characters and villains in a format of Street Fighter, Capcom's alleged most popular Capcom game.
Okay. Hey, there we go. That's a boss fight.
I got another boss fight for you, and it's more of an adjustment on the previous one. Yeah, I got one for us. This comes from Ghoulzer on our Discord. This is an image of a man inside of a fake animal costume with the caption, "It's hard work, but I will learn." The implication being that there's a man using some sort of animal as a skin suit. You proposed before the idea of Albert Wesker riding an Anjanath. Might I propose Albert Wesker piloting
being ridden by an Aljanath? I'm sorry I interrupted you. What were you saying?
I was proposing
I'm a bad person.
Albert Wesker piloting an Anjanath from the inside. He's climbed up in there and using it as a horrible flesh mech.
Ooh, I'm down for it. That'd be pretty bitchin'.
And Wesker's in there like, check it out. I made the M virus. It stands for monster.
That's fucking dumb. All right, dope. Yeah, there's some boss fights, dude. Are we ready for patch notes?
Yeah, I think I'm ready for patch notes. Let's go over there. Hey guys, and welcome to Patch Notes. This episode is going live on November 2nd, and I don't really know what that means. I don't know where that puts all of us, but I do know that moving forward, we're going to continue doing great things, and no matter what those results are, I'm not certain if we're going to have those results when some of you are listening to this episode, but I think a lot about the fact that no matter what happens, there will still be people out there doing the right thing. There will still be people out there making the right calls, and there will still be people out there with the best interests of everybody at heart. And we can't give up fighting, and we can't give up hope. And we need to keep moving forward and doing better no matter what.
That was very nicely said, AJ.
Thank you. And to all of you out there, stay strong and keep doing your best.
I think right now, if you don't mind me chiming in, AJ, I think right now we just got to focus on those positivities, no matter how small. Find the people that are around us that we can confide in, and remember that we are not alone, and that there is, as crazy as things are, there's still good things that keep us going and keep us hopeful. You know, I think, but we just got to look for it, and I think we can.
I think we'll go ahead and leave this show on that note. As always, thank you all so much for listening. Our intro and outro music is Cheap Shop by Anna Monoguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I've been your host, AJ Hart.
And I've been your other host, Blake Rea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made.